Hi there, my name's Catherine Nolan and welcome to the very first lecture in Technology, Ethics and Law. We're going to dive straight in. I will break this up into some separate sections, and what we're going to cover this week is we're going to look at how to be successful in this class, a couple of little tricks and tips. We're going to talk about what the legal profession is and what it means to be a lawyer. We're going to start talking about ways in which the profession is changing, and then we're going to finish up looking at the ways that the profession is regulated and start getting into some of the black letter content for this particular subject. So, how do you succeed in this class? Well, at the end of the day, the best thing or the best piece of advice I can give you is that you need to pay attention. And paying attention means attending the lectures, but also doing the readings. So what you're seeing on the slide here with me is basically me taking you on a little tour of how to find things in the reading list. Basically, all of the recommended readings are listed in the reading list in Canvas. You'll see that every single one of them includes a link. You don't have to do any work at all to find the readings. The only work that you need to do is to read them. Clearly, many of you will have wanted to purchase a textbook. I don't know what you've got against trees, but hey, that happens. I want you to know that it's absolutely fine to work with the outdated versions of the textbooks. I've got one here in front of me. I've got the hard copy version I have of Del Pont, who's a couple of editions ago as well. But what we've done in the reading list is we've made sure that the most up-to-date versions are available. And you'll find with most textbooks that there's usually a section in an update that tells you where the significant changes are. So it's always worth, even if you do prefer to have a paper copy, to just have a quick look and see before you do some reading, whoops, has this been updated in some significant way that I need to look at? You'll also find that the licenses for the material that we have in the readings, it can limit what you're allowed to print out, or you might find that you have to log in and out at different days. There is a small chance, particularly close to exams, when you might be going into the reading, you find that there's a whole lot of other people that are in there already, and the license has maxed out on the number of users. The library are absolutely fantastic with this. Let them know straight away and they will increase the licenses straight away, pretty much. 24 hours is the pretty much usual turnaround. You'll also find that you will have to make some sparing choices about how much you save or print out yourselves. But again, there's a number of different texts that we use. We'll have specific prescribed readings for each week, and you will notice in the reading list that we've sorted the materials out week by week. But there's also alternatives. So you find that, for example, if you've got a reading in Del Pont and it happens to be about the admission process, then chances are in one of the other up-to-date texts, so for example, Literature and Lamb, or even in Parker and Evans, you might find that there is an alternative way of reading that. What the reading list doesn't have is cases and legislation. I'll probably link the most important things there as we go. Again, all the legislation is very easily found online, and because legal ethics have largely been codified into legislation, you'll find yourself reading the statutes from time to time. So can't help for that. So success in this course requires paying attention, as in doing the reading, listening to these lectures, and the most important thing you can do is attend the tutes. Why is that the most important? Because you don't know what you don't know. Often it is somebody else's question that triggers your thinking, and that's really hard to hear if you're not actually in the tutes. So attend the tutes, Mary will tell you much more about how they work, or sorry, your tutor will tell you much more about how they work, and you'll find that I think they'll be quite conversational. It's also a great place to meet people. What else can you do? Think about the content, think about how it applies to you, and don't let the reading limit your own approach to thinking about the issues. Stay up to date with current affairs. A great thing that you can do as a student is you can join the Law Institute of Victoria. It is free, and their Young Lawyers section is very, very welcoming of young lawyers or young law students. With that, you get access to the Law Institute Journal, which always includes articles that are relevant to this course, because technology is absolutely a current live issue for real practitioners, but also it is the Law Institute's job as essentially the representative body of lawyers and law students in Victoria to really stay on top of what our ethical and our legal duties as practitioners are. So you'll find that there'll be summaries there of the most recent cases, and also in-depth articles about the ethical issues that arise from time to time. Ask questions, get involved, talk to people about what you're learning, but most of all, just keep on top of the reading, make good notes of what you read, and I think you'll do really well. So that's really what I wanted to say. What's next? This is not going where I thought it would go. The other thing that we need to make sure, today I just hate it when my slides don't actually go in the order I expect. The other thing, clearly, to do well in this class, you need to get through the assessment tasks. There are 3 of them. The first one is due very soon, at the end of week 3, and it expects you to have done the readings for week 1 to 3 when you submit. I've made a separate video about how to do that, and I will, for the process part of it, and I will likely make separate videos that will be released after that first assignment is done for the assignment that's due in week 9, and then another one in relation to the exam as well. So basically these assignments will really challenge you to engage with the materials that we're going through and to demonstrate that you can make sense of it. The first one, like I said, it's an assignment that will require you to enter into a discussion. Remember that word, discussion. Discussion is not a whole lot of people just yelling things. So it's not a whole lot of posts that are disconnected from each other. You are expected to read what other people say and respond to that, and that is a key element of that task. So really get involved. That's a great way too to identify who else is in the class. You actually will be put in groups to do that, but it is an individual submission. The groups are just to make sure that you can have a discussion. It's not 80 people just cross talking. So in week 9, you will be making some recommendations. So you'll be really drawing on, in particular, what you learn in this subject about legal practice and what you learn about the technologies and the way technologies are changing the profession. And then in the exam, while the other things will be covered as well, there will be a real focus on the ethical rules and your obligations as a lawyer once you're admitted. Actually, it might also cover getting admitted, those kind of things. Again, exams can be pretty scary. You'll get some feed forward in advance. They're likely to have some problem scenarios, probably some short answer questions as well, but you'll definitely get plenty of feed forward. Again, being prepared to deal with assessment tasks is really important. Now is the absolute best time to not only write in your diaries or block out on your phone when they are due, but block out the time that you need to do them as well, to make sure that you've got the reading, you've had time to reflect on the question, you have time to both write and revise and edit and have some thinking music time in there. Now is the time to be saying to people, I'm not going to be available in the weeks leading up to these assignment tasks. So here's where we're going to talk about what we mean by the legal profession, but I'm going to do that in a separate recording, so that's what you can expect from me in the next instalment.